Hello everyone, my name is Anthony and this is The Right Take, Gen Z Politics. So today we are going to get into the future elections of America. As we know, as of January 17th, 2026, the date I am filming this, the midterms are coming up later this year in November. And then of course there's the 2028 election, which we're 3 years away from, but it is the next major presidential election in the United States. So we do got to talk about that. So we're just going to get right into this. We're going to get started off with the midterm, as that's really the closest election. So Republican odds, let's be honest here, they aren't looking too good. You go on betting sites, you go on polling sites, Republicans are just barely predicted to win the Senate, if even that. And they're predicted to lose the House by tens of seats, which would be devastating to Trump and to the administration as a whole. But that is the current projection. There's no denying it. The outlook of the American people, the people are thinking, sadly, with a lot of the ICE and all that stuff, people are just like, what is going on in America? And whether I agree with these people or not, I don't. These people are angry, and they will be getting out and voting. And I think that is the biggest issue. The Democrats, their turnout, compared to the Republican turnout, is so much better, especially in, obviously, mail-in ballots. Republicans don't get out and vote, at least compared to the amount that Democrats do, and that is the truth. That is why we lost around the globe, around the country, back in November. It's why we lost in New Jersey, the election of Jack Ciattarelli, because nobody got out and voted. The midterms, we are going to lose the House and potentially the Senate, and once again, that's just the truth. But we can't let that happen. We need to see some real change in this administration. Let's get into some core topics. Let's talk about why we are seeing this dramatic change from the 2024 election to now in American politics. So obviously we go back to 2024. Trump's popularity was soaring. You know, he just got shot in the air in Butler, Pennsylvania a couple months back. Biden dropped out of the race. He went around in the garbage truck. He went to McDonald's. He worked in the McDonald's. His campaign was great, I have to admit. That campaign was amazing. I did see one of his rallies in Wildwood, New Jersey. It was a great rally. So many people came. They said 100,000 people came. And I do agree with that number. Because there were generally so many people, whether they were coming in or out, or they were there the whole time. It doesn't matter. There was so many people at that rally. So the hype was there at one point. The hype for Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance was there, and that's a fact. But now, looking over a year later, the hype seems to be dwindling. Trump made all these promises back in his election campaign. All wars ended on day one. He said that before he would even get into office, the Israel and Gaza war and the Russia and Ukraine war would be done. Now, to his credit, the Israel-Gaza war is, for the most part, other than some violations of the ceasefire that's still happening, it's pretty much done. But the Russia-Ukraine war has no seeming end in sight. And that was one of his major promises. And he promised all these tariffs, and he promised all these mass deportations, and we are getting mass deportations, and that's what the liberals hate. But we aren't getting anywhere near as much as he promised. He told us mass deportations, all these illegals, immigrants, they're gonna be gone. But we're barely seeing any numbers. We're in the hundreds of thousands. When reminder that, although that might seem great, the Biden administration let in millions. Millions. The truth is, at this rate, we aren't even going to be able to go back to pre-Biden administration era. There's still going to be more illegal immigrants in the country from between Trump's first term to his second term. There's still going to be more than where he left it if they did not pick up these rates. And what's happened, if anything, sadly, it almost seems like they're going to slow down due to this pressure from the Democrats. And that is not what we should be giving into. Listen, Trump, you're fighting between the Democratic support and your own party support. A lot of these Democrats you aren't going to win. But the Republican Party you definitely can win if you live up to your promises. Donald J. Trump has been a great president so far, do not get me wrong. I love a lot of his policies. I love especially what he's been doing recently. That has especially increased my approval of him. But the truth is, he's not living up to a lot of these promises, at least not in full, that he gave to us during his election campaign. And a lot of Republicans are mad. We see factions like Nicolas J. Fuentes and his supporters. They've basically vowed to just not support Trump anymore. And the reasons why are because he has not fulfilled many of these goals and policies and promises that he gave to us during the 2024 election campaign. So what you're going to see now is not only a discontent from the Democratic Party, but infighting and discontent from inside their MAGA movement, inside the Republican Party. We see dissent even in Congress in the Republican Party with Thomas Massie and, excuse me if I say this wrong, but Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're getting off the Republican side almost. I did just see a video that said that Thomas Massie himself, that he does vote 91% with Republicans. But he is criticizing Trump, and you see all this criticism that he leaves of Trump. And this is within his own party. This is within the GOP. So not only are we getting hate from the Democrats now, we're also getting hate from the Republicans. And how are we going to win an election when we can't even get our own party support? Which we barely won by in 2024 by getting our whole party support. Now we don't even have that. So how are we going to win in the midterms? Especially with the trend that is going. The riots, we got all these protests going around, these stupid ICE protests. I've seen multiple protests just around my hometown. And that's the truth. Because all these Democrats are mad and they're getting angrier and angrier. And we're losing the Republicans too. The Republicans are getting mad and angrier. And all we have is divide. We don't have success to show. We don't have votes. We have divide. And that's the truth. And I did explain this in my last episode. And also I tapped on this in basically all my episodes. The divide in this country, and especially in our own political party, is going to destroy our nation. We need to focus on fixing these problems, getting done our promises, getting done Trump's promises, and uniting as a party, and eventually uniting as a whole nation. Because America will collapse, America will fall if we do not unite. And that is just a fact. But as you can see with these midterms, as I was saying, we lose the House, we lose the support for Trump to do any of his things. He won't even be able to pass it through Congress, even if he wanted to do it, if we lose the House, and especially if we lose also the Senate. Even if Trump reversed his ideology, reversed his doings, and completed all his promises, or at least attempted to, they would just get knocked down in the House or in the Senate. Because there's no support. We lose the support in the midterms. We lose the congressional support. Without congressional support, we lose any policies that Trump wanted to do, that Trump plans on doing. Because we cannot unite. We cannot get these things settled. And once again, this is between the Republican Party and Trump himself. The Republicans need to push these issues more, and Trump needs to act on these issues more. He needs to get the deportations done, end the war in Russia and Ukraine, actually get a peace deal going. He needs to take Greenland. He needs to get a situation going in Venezuela. Or else, what's the point of what we've done? What is the point of everything that Trump said, all this conflict that has been created as a nation, if nobody gets anything from it? The only thing we're getting is just a more mad Democrat Party. And a more mad Democrat Party is going to get out more, is going to protest more, is going to vote. That's the important part. They're going to vote. And we aren't. Because we're discontent with our own party. The Democrats are discontent that we're running the country. So Republicans aren't going to vote for Democrats, probably. They're probably not going to vote at all. And Democrats are going to vote for Democrats. So we have Republicans not voting and Democrats voting. This is pretty simple to get into your head. And how's that going to turn out? Can you guess? Can you guess how that's going to turn out? The Democrats are going to win. They're going to sweep the House. They're going to potentially take the Senate. Whatever other races, whatever governor races are going on, they're going to win those. See, in Florida, in Ohio, we got great gubernatorial candidates running in both those states. And we could definitely, absolutely lose both of them. And that's a sad truth, even though you see that these states are going more red. With the right sweep that we saw back in November of 25, they could easily take Ohio and Florida. And we can't just let this happen. And we are. We are, in the truth, just letting this happen. Now, moving on past the midterms, when we do get to the 2028 election, obviously Trump's term is ending. He can't run for another term, no matter what anybody says. Although that would be very interesting. I think he's too old at that point. Honestly, I think even if he does turn everything around, I think he's too old to go for a third term. Not that it's possible anyway, but let's just say somehow he magically changed the law. I think he needs to be replaced with a younger candidate after his term right now. But yeah, no matter your wishes, no matter your hopes, Trump cannot be president again in 4 years. He cannot have another 4-year term. So we need to look at new candidates. Now, right now, the successor, everybody says J.D. Vance. And I don't think J.D. Vance is bad. I think he's just a younger version of Trump. But can we rely on J.D. Vance to commit to these policies, to these promises, and to get what the Republican voter base really wants? Or will he just acquiesce, excuse me if I said that wrong, will he just acquiesce to the Democrats? Will he just give in to the Democrats? Let them have their way? Because if we have that as president, then we're even worse off than we are right now. It's going to get even worse. The conflicts and the chaos is going to get even worse. And we're going to get even less from it. Now, we do have other candidates like potentially Marco Rubio, but we just need to open up the playing field and see who runs, because you never know. Somebody might come out of the blue and run that you've probably never heard of before, that I might have never heard of before. And they might run starting 2027, and they might win. This person might come up to fame and win. And we have to look out for that. We cannot settle on J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio right now. We need to keep our eyes peeled and our ears open for any new candidates. Because some candidates might be better than others. Some might be controlled by the deep state. Or some might be for the Americans. And that is what we need to look for. We need to investigate if J.D. Vance or if Marco Rubio or if anybody else who runs for president is controlled by the deep state. Because we do not need that back in our government. And we do not need these people going with the Democrats. And compromising is the word I'm thinking of. We do not need these people compromising with the Democrats. Because that's just not going to work out. If we get a rhino, a half Republican president, if we even get a Republican president, that's what we'll get into next. But if we get a rhino president, it was not going to be much better than the Democrats. If at all. And that's just the truth too. Imagine if we had Mitt Romney as president, or if we had Mitch McConnell as president. I mean, how do you think that would turn out? Not good either way. Because no party likes them. Neither side of the parties like them, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. Could you imagine if somebody like that was genuinely president of the United States for at least 4 years? We'd be a disaster. We'd be a train wreck. Now, for 2028, let's say we do horrible in the midterms. It's just the truth. We might. If we do horrible in the midterms, that'll definitely affect the path that leads us to the 2028 election. But if we do, we need to come back and we need to learn from it. And seriously learn from it this time. We should have learned back in November, once again, when the blue wave struck the country. Proposition 50 in California passed. Zoran Mandamni won the mayor race in New York City, which I still believe Curtis Leo should have won. Jack Ciattarelli, who I still don't believe truly lost that. But if he did, Jack Ciattarelli lost against Mikey Sherrill. We're going to have Phil Murphy 2.0 as our governor for at least 4 years. We should have learned from that already. And it doesn't seem there's been any real progress made in the party. So, question is, how is this party going to be in 2 years? In 3 years? 4 years? Are we going to be the same party? Or are you just going to go back to the Bush era, just the average rhino businessmen Republicans who just care about their stocks and their money and their wealth and not the country? We need to wait and look, or at least make sure that we have candidates that are for America, for the American people, for the Republican Party. Or else we don't have a politician. We don't have somebody running our government. We don't have a person running our government. We have a puppet. We have a puppet running our government. We cannot let that happen. We need to get a strong candidate who will fight for our values, who will fight for conservatism and republicanism. Or else we don't have a candidate. We have a Democrat candidate. We have an independent candidate, basically. We don't have a Republican candidate until we have somebody who cares. And if we don't get somebody who cares, then why should we care? Why does it even matter? It's just going to be like if the Democrats won anyway. And that's just the hard truth of it. We need somebody for America, for the United States of America. We need somebody we could stand behind and fight for. We could campaign, go out in the streets for, not somebody you're just voting for because they're a Republican or because you just felt like voting them, like eeny, meeny, miny, mo, let's see who I should vote today. No! We need somebody who we can be enthusiastic for voting for, who independents can look and say, hey, this guy knows his stuff. This guy's tough. This guy means crap. That is what we need. Not some loser candidate who will be a loser. And we don't know if that's where we're heading, but that could be where we're heading. We still got to learn more about the candidates in the playing field. These two elections are very important, and I know everybody says this is always said, but it can and will determine the future of America. As political tensions get bigger and bigger, and they rise and rise and rise, each election is more important than the last one. Each election is more important than the last one. So now, what do we have to do? As I stated in my last episode, and episodes before that, get out and vote. Get out and campaign. Run for office. You want to run? You want to see change? Run for office. That is the best thing you can do. No matter your political opinions, as long as you're on the right side of it, run for office. Get into a position. Get in your committee. Become a council person. Become a representative of your county. Become a state senator. A state assembly person. Become a real senator. A United States senator. A House representative. Run for a House district. Run for president. If you think you're a big shot, run for president. If you think you have a shot, a real shot, and you're a big shot, run for office. Get out there and run for something. And if you don't want to run for something, help somebody run for something. Help somebody run for something. Join a campaign team. Intern for a campaign team. Just walk around, tell people about a candidate that you like. Go to your friends, your family. Tell them, hey, I like this guy. Hey, I like this girl. I think you should vote for them, and here's why. Tell them why and explain it to them. Convince them to feel the same way about this candidate that you feel about them. We need energy, stamina, charisma in the Republican Party, or we are nothing. We are just another political party. We'll end up like a random political party in the UK, like the Green Party. Like, nobody cares about them. They get like 10 seats in the House of Commons in the UK. We don't want to end up like that now, do we? Well, the truth is we will. Maybe not now. Maybe not in 5 years, 10 years. But probably in your lifetime, we will end up like that. And it doesn't even matter. Even if it's not in your lifetime, which, once again, it will be. I'm telling you right now. This will happen in your lifetime, unless you're like 90 years old. But the future of our children and of the next generation, of all the people of America, lies in our hands. Especially younger people like me. Especially Gen Z, Gen Alpha, one day Generation Beta, too. It lies in our hands. Especially, once again, the younger you are. In your hands. The future of our nation. The future that our grandchildren will live in. Our children. Our cousins. Our nephews. Our nieces. We need to fight for a society that everybody can be happy in. And everybody can live successfully in. Or we are not successful as a nation. This is our 250th year as a nation. We don't want this to be our last. We want to go to 500. We want to go to 1,000. Long live the American Empire. We need to keep this nation alive. We can't end it off here. It's too soon. It's too early. We can't let this nation crumble. We let this nation crumble, the world crumbles. That's another topic we could get into. America runs this world. America is the powerhouse of this world. Like the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. We're the powerhouse of all of the earth. Without us, there is no world. There is no nations. There is no North America. Because it'll get taken over by guess who? Wait. I'm going to give you a second. Just think about it. We're going to take a moment of silence to think about it. Guess who? China, Russia, India, Iran. What do you think these nations are going to do if we're just out of the picture? They're going to carve up the world. They are going to take a piece and they're going to hold on to that piece. And then maybe grab a few more pieces. And then maybe fight each other for even more pieces. But in the end, these are the countries that will be ruling the world. The American people have fought for greatness in the past. We fought since the Revolutionary War. Even before that, technically. But since the Revolutionary War, we fought in the Civil War. We fought in the Mexican-American War. World War I and World War II. We are the conquerors. We are the victors. And we need to stay the victors. Or else we're just the losers. And who wants to be a loser when you could be a winner? That's just the truth. Don't say you don't agree with that. Who would want to be a loser when you could be a winner? And we are winners. And we need to stay. Stay winners. Or else, do you know what happens? I probably said it like 20,000 times. I know I did. The world collapses. America collapses. We are the police of the world. We keep the world in check. We fund NATO. We fund the UN. The UN is actually founded and funded by John D. Rockefeller. Guess what nationality he was? An American. We built this world since the 1700s. This is our world. This is the world that we need to protect. And we need to protect the citizens of everywhere in this world. Obviously, Americans first. But it is our job to keep this world in check. And with a weak administration, with a Democratic administration, with a Rhino Republican administration, that just won't happen. It just will not happen. And that is the sad truth of the matter. Why would we even fight for a nation that cannot keep itself up, that cannot hold itself on its own? That will be America. If we let it. But we aren't going to let it. We need to fight for a strong America. For America that can stand through these conflicts. God forbid World War III. There's a World War III. You're going to want America on your side. If you're listening to this anywhere in the world, in Europe, if you're our ally, and World War III starts and you're no longer an ally, you better pray for your life. You better pray for your life without us. Because we are the only people that can save you. We have the strongest military in the world. We have the strongest economy in the world. To be fair, the American economy is larger than all of Europe's economy combined. We are a superpower. We might not be a hyperpower anymore. We were back after the Soviet Union collapsed. Now Russia and China are catching up to us. But we are a superpower, and we are the number one superpower. And we will stay that way as long as we let ourselves stay that way. Well, we'll just drop down to just an average country. Not one that millions have immigrated to legally. Not one with the greatest cities in the world. New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago. Beautiful cities if you ignore all the crime and stuff. But once again, that's Democrats. But just face value, architecture and their history. Beautiful cities, and that's America. That is the America we fight for. That we will fight for our grandchildren and our future generations for. That we will fight to preserve the history and the values that our previous generations fought for. Or else, what's the point? What is the point if we lose our heritage and our values, our history? What if we just become just like any other nation, like Botswana? Because I know you've never heard of Botswana. Probably not. Especially if you're American, no offense. No, I am just kidding. But nations like Botswana, I mean, they're just like average nations. No offense to anybody in Botswana. But we don't just want to become an average nation that's like, oh, okay. Oh, cool. America. Alright. No! We are America. The United States of America. Most powerful country on the face of this earth. Ever. Ever. Okay? This is our country. This is our land that we need to fight for. Whether you're white or black or any race, any gender, no matter your political opinion. This is our country. And if you don't fight for it, then you can get out of here. Then you can get out of this country. If you don't fight for what our ancestors fought for what our good ancestors fought for in World War II and World War I, for freedom and for justice, get out. Get out of this nation, because you don't belong here and you should not be here. If you don't love America, if you don't want the best for America, especially if you don't want the best for America, get out. I'll help you pack. I'll grab your bags. I'll help you. We'll run an organization and we'll help you out. Pack those bags and leave. Because we don't want you here. I know you don't want to be here, especially if you meet these criteria, if you don't want America for its best. I know you don't want to be here. And guess what? We don't want you to be here either. So it works out. It's a win-win. Just pack your bags, go to North Korea, go to Iran, go to whatever country you love, and get out. Because the people who do love America will either come here or stay here. And you who hate America, you can go to whatever country you love. And leave our country because we don't want you here. The fight never ends until our goals are reached. Until the true American Christian values are here and here to stay. Or else we are not America anymore. We are not the United States of America anymore. These values are worth fighting for. And this is what we need to stand up for against the Democrats and against any agendas that are fighting against us. I used against a lot in that sentence, but the word against is important because they're not fighting with us. A lot of people there are not fighting with us. We have to know that they are against us. Okay? I want to thank everybody for watching, and I hope I struck something in your heart, at least a little bit. We need to listen, and we need to fight. We need to get out there, get people to vote, convince people of our true Republican Christian opinions, and get out and vote. Or else, what's the point of elections anymore? What's the point of the freedoms? I'd like to thank you for watching The Right Take, Gen Z Politics. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.